The US dollar is one of the most trusted currencies in the world. However, this was true when it was backed by gold. The US government stopped backing the dollar with gold in 1971. The US dollar is now fiat currency. It holds value because the government says it does. People's faith in the system keeps the dollar afloat. However, people are losing faith in the current financial system. There are concerns over central bank digital currencies and government regulation. Some people are even turning to cryptocurrencies. So let's answer the question in today's video. Is crypto the death of the dollar? Welcome to our channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. In order to understand how cryptocurrency could be the death of the dollar, we need to first understand how the dollar works. The US dollar is fiat currency. That means it's not backed by anything other than the government's promise that it will hold value. The dollar also has value because we all agree it has value. In other words, it's a social construct. For most of human history, money was commodity money. This means that the money had intrinsic value. For example, you could exchange this $10 bill for 10 crisp $100 bills. You could then exchange each of those bills for 1,000 $10 bills. This continued until President Nixon took the US off the gold standard in 1971. This meant that the dollar was no longer backed by gold. Instead, it would be backed by the full faith and credit of the US government. This may seem like a good thing, but it's actually quite dangerous. The government can just print more dollars whenever it wants. This means there's no limit to how much money the government can make. And this has led to some problems. For example, inflation. When the government prints too much money, it can cause prices to rise. This is because the value of each dollar goes down. So if you have more dollars, you can buy fewer things. One way the government can combat this is to raise interest rates. When interest rates are high, people are less likely to take out loans. This is because the cost of borrowing money is higher. When people aren't taking out as many loans, they have less money to spend. This leads to lower inflation. Another way the government can fight inflation is by raising taxes. When people have less money, they spend less money. This leads to lower inflation. However, this can be a bit of a double-edged sword. If people don't have enough money to buy necessities like food and shelter, they may go without. This can lead to some pretty bad social consequences. One of the main benefits of the dollar being fiat currency is that it's flexible. The government can adjust the supply of dollars in the economy to meet demand. They can do this to smooth out the business cycle. This is what we mean by fine-tuning the money supply. One of the biggest risks of having a fiat currency is that it's not backed by anything. This means that the government could, in theory, just print as much money as it wants. This could lead to hyperinflation, which is when there's so much money in the economy that it basically becomes worthless. One example of hyperinflation is in Zimbabwe. In 2008, the Zimbabwean dollar was one of the currencies in the world. Today, the country uses the US dollar and other currencies. This is because the Zimbabwean dollar became virtually worthless. Cryptocurrencies could potentially pose a threat to the dollar. Why? Because they're decentralized. This means that they're not controlled by any government or central bank. Cryptocurrencies are also transparent. All transactions are public. This means that people can see how much money is being printed and how it's being used. Cryptocurrencies are also resistant to censorship. This means that people can't be stopped from using them. Governments have tried to ban cryptocurrencies, but it hasn't really worked. People still use cryptocurrencies even in countries where they're illegal. In addition to these benefits, cryptocurrencies are also becoming more and more popular. More and more people are buying them and using them to pay for things. This is especially true in developing countries. In these countries, people often don't have access to traditional banking services. Cryptocurrencies allow them to participate in the global economy. So if cryptocurrencies are so great, why doesn't the government just adopt them? Well, there are a few reasons. First of all, cryptocurrencies are volatile. Their prices go up and down a lot. This makes them risky to use as money. Secondly, cryptocurrencies are anonymous. This makes it hard to track criminal activity. Thirdly, cryptocurrencies are decentralized. This means that the government doesn't have control over the money supply. Finally, cryptocurrencies are seen as a threat to national security. By using cryptocurrencies, people are relying on foreign-based technologies. This is a problem for governments who want to keep their economies isolated. So, what will happen to the dollar? We'll tell you right after. The US dollar is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Cryptocurrencies are a threat, but they're not going away either. Here's what we think will happen. The US government will continue to fine-tune the supply of dollars in the economy. This will help to keep the economy running smoothly. The government will also try to crack down on cryptocurrency. However, it will be unable to stop its growth. Eventually, the two will coexist. People will use dollars for everyday purchases and cryptocurrencies for larger, more international purchases. Here's an example. Let's say you work for the government and you get paid in dollars. You use those dollars to buy goods and services from businesses. Those businesses use those dollars to pay their employees. Those employees use those dollars to buy goods and services from other businesses. This is how the economy works. Everyone is using dollars. Now, let's say you're a cryptocurrency miner. You use your computer to solve complex mathematical problems. You're rewarded with cryptocurrencies. You can then use those cryptocurrencies to buy goods and services. Businesses can also buy cryptocurrencies. They might do this to speculate on the price of the cryptocurrency, or they might do it to pay for goods and services from other businesses. So, what does this all mean? Basically, we think the dollar will remain the dominant currency in the world. However, cryptocurrencies will become more and more popular. Eventually, the two will coexist. If you want to learn more about cryptocurrencies, we recommend checking out some of our other videos. We think it's important for everyone to understand this new asset class. Let's finish off with a quick summary of the benefits and drawbacks of the dollar and cryptocurrencies. The benefits of the dollar are that it's the most trusted currency in the world. It's also backed by the full faith and credit of the US government. The dollar is also fiat currency, meaning it's flexible. The government can adjust the supply of dollars in the economy to meet demand. The drawbacks of the dollar are that it's not backed by anything other than the government's promise that it will hold value. The dollar is also fiat currency, meaning the government can print as much money as it wants. This could lead to hyperinflation. The benefits of cryptocurrencies are that they're decentralized, transparent, censorship-resistant, and secure. Cryptocurrencies are also becoming more and more popular. The drawbacks of cryptocurrencies are that they're volatile, anonymous, not widely accepted, and seen as a threat to national security. It's important to note that both the US dollar and cryptocurrencies are evolving. The US dollar is becoming more digital and cryptocurrencies are becoming more regulated. Only time will tell how these two will interact. What do you think? Will crypto kill the dollar? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it valuable, consider subscribing and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this video for you to watch next, or check out our platform for more amazing content. See you tomorrow.